Where do I start? It's a book that it took me a while to pick it up to read just because of work commitments and stuff, but once I picked it up I actually could not put it down, to the point where I went out and forgot the book and I had to download it on my phone because I needed to read it there and then, because I was like, no better time, I was going on a flight, no better time to read it, so I forgot the book at home, so I was able to download it.
When Emeka told me that he wrote a book, I asked him what it's about. He told me it's about like the life on Hackney and it's like from our perspective and how we see it. And I thought, I don't normally like to read books, but that intrigued me. So I'm like, let me give it a read. And then when I read it, like it was actually the truth. Because like I remember when he said they're walking through the market and the boy was saying about his shoes. He don't know the step of his Nike shoes, so he was bobbing and weaving. I'm like, that's me on a day-to-day basis when I get my new shoes. So I'm like, wow. And then there's like the local youth club which I go to, and then just like everything that we do is being portrayed in the book. Then it shows us like how they got stopped by the police, how they just get stopped by the police because there's one black one, one white one, one Asian one, and just because they fit the characteristics, not because they've done anything. Then it's actually a really good book.
When I was on holiday in Rhodes, so I was in a totally different setting, and I wasn't at work, so I could read long periods of time, whereas when I'm working I don't have that amount of time to spend hours and hours reading it. So I did actually live in Hackney 22 years ago. I got married at Hackney Town Hall, so it transported me back to that environment which I kind of knew because I lived in it even though I'm not from there, so and made me kind of aware of a lot of the issues that young people are facing today, because Hackney is a completely different place now than when I lived there, sure.
Yeah. I hadn't read, I've been reading lots of kind of reports and kind of work kind of related things.
Yeah.
So I hadn't read a story,
Yeah.
I hadn't read a kind of fictional story for quite a while. And so I was kind of, in a way I was kind of thinking, am I gonna, have I got the brain muscles? But I generally didn't put the book down. I kind of was looking for moments where I could find the time to carry on reading the book, and it was gripping. And I remember there's moments it's still quite vivid to me now, where I kind of was talking to you. I was talking to you, like I said, you can't, no. You can't. It's like, you know, I'm kind of, you know, like you say, people complain at the television set.
Yeah.
And I was like that gripped into this book. You know?
In the book, I found that it was a very easy read. I'm the kind of person that when I pick up a book, if it doesn't grab my attention within the first chapter, I will easily put it down. I didn't have that problem with this book. I kind of read and then it made you want to read more. You kind of wanted to know what happened with each character. It was very good the way that each character, you got to know them. So I won't tell you what the book's about, but each character you knew all about them, you knew about their families, and so it was very personal whilst you were reading it.
I'm very, very interested, and I could actually picture the storyline when I was reading it, and about it's actually what's happening, it's reality what's happening now. So the book is very impressive, very educational, and it makes you look at your life and other people's lives.
It had me on an emotional roller coaster, many ups and downs. You know, when I should have been asleep, I was reading. I pick it up to think, oh, let me just read it quickly before bed. 2-3 hours later, I'm still reading. It had me captivated and totally engaged. From I got to know the characters, I was engaged and I was hooked.
So for one so far is Junior.
Okay.
Like just because he's kind of cheeky as well, he can kind of get out away with his words.
Yeah.
But like because of Samuel's the tall, big one, loudmouth, and that relates to me the most because people say I'm the loudmouth. So
Yeah.
that's my Samuel's my favorite character, but I can relate to Junior the most because of just how he is.
Okay.
Of myself in some of the characters. You know, sometimes being young, being naive. I could relate to it so easily, even reading some of the scenes and some of the things that went on. I've actually been in those situations, scenarios before, so it was very, very relatable, very real as far as I was concerned.
I felt a lot about their families. I thought it was very descriptive. I felt things to do with food, cooking, when they were describing about meals being prepared and stuff like that. I kind of felt it was very visual. So I'm a visual person. It kind of took me there.
Yeah, I kind of felt like I knew they were really familiar.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Familiar in like the experiences that they go through, kind of like experiences that I know of, or know, you know, I know those stories around us and that, and none of it was kind of like fanciful. Do you know what I mean? It was all real and at a kind of authentic pace, in a way, kind of an authentic rhythm of life. Do you know what I mean?
So doing the work that I do, I work with young people who find themselves sometimes in some sticky situations. So there were a few young people in that, out of the 4 characters, I did relate to every single one of them, because I've worked with a different range of young people. So yeah, I related to all 4 of them, and you can see them in most young people that you meet. It's very well written.
100% connected quite easily, straight away. I felt like, you know, I knew the characters, or there was somebody who I could potentially know. Especially, okay, I was brought up in a Caribbean household, but they were very, very similar backgrounds and upbringings. So I could see those running throughout the book.
I think there was one character in particular that you saw that he had this really great life. He had a really great life, and it was really weird that he struggled the most because his friends didn't have as much as he did, and it was weird the way that he wanted to be so much like them, and he seemed to have the most struggle.
I don't believe joint enterprise is the best thing, because just because I'm there, like I could be witnessing it, I can still get done if I know the person. So I don't believe it's the best thing to be, the best law to be in that.
Okay.
I don't know, I'm a bit of a devil's advocate when it comes to joint enterprise. Like, I'm for and against it. I think, because I've been involved in joint enterprise myself, and I'm going to be honest, you know what I'm saying? I mean, I did certain things within a group, not to the caliber of what others might have done, but I know I had a role to play. So I know for a fact, you know, I deserve to get punished. But then, on the other side of things, you know, if someone's totally innocent, then, you know, it's not right, it's not fair, and it doesn't work.
Right, well, I think that in some cases it can be applicable, but not in all cases. I think that what's happened now with the joint enterprise law is what's happened is you've got a lot of solicitors, barristers who are taking advantage of the law. So they're using it as a way of sweeping the streets, really, of gang members. So, you know, and it's important that the law was there so that if you were involved in an incident and you knowingly was involved in an incident, that you would then be charged under joint enterprise. Whereas I find now what's happening is you've got young people that are being charged under joint enterprise without a really good case for it. You know, young people that are just in the wrong place at the wrong time.
The joint enterprise, I've learned more about it since reading the book, because I want to know more, so that the context of the book made more sense to me while I was reading. It made me feel quite passionate, it made me feel angry, and it made me question, I suppose, the strategies and the tactics that the police do use to when trying to indoctrinate that doctrine onto us.
Logic of the law, and kind of the theoretical logic of this law about if you go working together to do something, to commit something, then you're kind of equally responsible. But then I'm seeing how it's been misused in a lot of ways, or it's been misapplied. Maybe not misused, but misapplied. And how it was portrayed in this story was quite interesting, because there wasn't a malicious. It wasn't like there was a bent copper trying to do something. It was the circumstances that the character was in. Do you know what I mean? And it's quite an interesting place there.
I recommend it because there's other people that's out there like me, and then like they just want to have something that they can relate to, they can read to, and that can stimulate them. So if anybody that's like me, then you should read the book, innit?
Oh, 100%. I mean, I've already recommended it already. So my partner, you know, she bought a book as well. Also bought a book for her parents, because her parents are not born or not raised or don't have any kind of experience, you know, with the sort of like typical urban London Hackney stereotype, you know, kind of thing. They live outside of Kent, outside of London, so they live in Kent. So, you know, they're not aware of, you know, certain things that go on. So I've recommended it to them. My younger brother as well, you know, I've recommended it to him. So yeah, it's definitely recommendable, and I've already done so.
I sent a copy of it to a friend of mine in Germany, and I've got a brother who's been recently supply teaching at a school in Haggerston, which used to be set in that area, and he's given it to the head of drama. He's been there over 20 years, so I'm spreading the news.
Okay.
As they say. I think it should be part of a drama department or part of the English curriculum in all secondary schools. I think it should be part of the GCSE curriculum.
Yeah, I've already recommended the book to a lot of people.
Okay.
I've actually read it twice, actually.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I read it twice. I had something to read and I read it twice.
Yeah. Oh nice.
And I gave my grandson to read. He hasn't finished it yet, but I know that he's been reading it because I see Mark the book, so he has been reading it, and he's been talking about it actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh nice.
And I have recommended the book. So I recommended the book to a relative in America who has read it, who praised the book, and has since got other people that she knows to purchase the book. So yeah, I would definitely recommend the book.
Definitely. It's definitely a good read. You kind of captivate and put them in the palm. Read it.
I have done, and I continue to do so, because I think there's so much people, like old, young, can learn from it. You know, I've recommended it to my mum, I've recommended it to friends, and I continue to do so. Reason why: it's well written, it's a good read, it's an eye opener, and I want to support the cause.
Entertaining and knowledgeful, like insightful. That's the word.
Oh.
One word would be truth. Truth.
Gritty and heartbreaking.
He's very, I think he's fantastic. Good storyline.
Right, so fantastic comes to mind and brilliant, but I would say, you can't have 4 words, so I would say, I've already said fantastic and brilliant, so pretend I didn't say them. An easy read.
Easy read. Oh.
Enlightening.
I think I've got 3. It's a must read. Really. I can't think of just one word. Just read it for yourself and come up with your own words.